So I want to talk to you about something that genuinely shifted how I think about affirmations. And it's one of those things that once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Most of us have grown up using I am statements. I am confident, I am successful, I am enough. And I am is powerful. There's a reason it's everywhere. But here's what I've been sitting with. What if I am is actually working against some of us? Especially those of us who grew up programming a very different version of those two words. Think about this for a second. The version of yourself that's trying to say, I am confident, where is she speaking from? She's speaking from right where she stands, with all her doubts, all her history, all the times she's felt anything but confident. So when she says, I am confident, part of her brain is quietly going, are you though? That internal resistance is real. It's your nervous system fact-checking you in real time. And for a lot of people, especially those who've carried low self-esteem or self-doubt for a long time, that gap between who you are right now and who you're trying to claim to be can make affirmations feel hollow, or worse, like a lie you're telling yourself. And this is what makes it harder to visualize and feel the ideal version of us. A lot of the self-doubt we carry didn't start with us. It started with what people said to us: a parent, a teacher, an ex, a sibling. You are lazy. You are too much. You are not smart enough. Those you are statements, the negative ones, they got in. They became the inner voice, your inner voice. They shaped how we see ourselves at the most foundational level. So the question I kept coming back to was this: if the damage came from you are statements, could the healing come from there too? There's actual research that backs this up in a really compelling way. Psychologist Ethan Kross at the University of Michigan has spent years studying how the language we use with ourselves affects our performance, our emotional regulation, and how we handle stress. What his team found is that when people shift away from first-person I language and start referring to themselves in the second or third person, using you or their own name, something measurably different happens. His research, published in journals including the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, showed that this kind of distanced self-talk helped people perform better under pressure, manage difficult emotions more effectively, and break out of negative thought spirals faster. The second person creates what researchers call psychological distance, and that distance is useful. It quiets the inner critic enough to let new information through. Here's what I find fascinating about this. When someone we trust or admire genuinely compliments us, you are so strong, you are incredible at this. Even if our first instinct is to brush it off, something still lands. We feel it differently than we feel our own thoughts about ourselves. What does this all mean for us now? When the statement comes from a voice that feels separate from our current self-concept, it bypasses some of our own resistance to it, and we can recreate that, for ourselves, with ourselves. Think about what a mirror actually does. It shows you, but from the outside, and that external view carries information your internal one doesn't always have. When you use you are statements with yourself, you're essentially becoming your own mirror. You're stepping slightly outside your current inner world and speaking back to yourself from a place of vision, from the place of who you are becoming, and so recreating your inner voice that later becomes the I am statements. Stay with me. This matters especially when it comes to the inner child. A lot of the wounds that make affirmations feel impossible, they belong to a younger version of us, a version who never got told the right things, a version who absorbed a lot of damaging you are statements and had nothing to counteract them with. Speaking you are to that part of yourself is different from trying to convince your current adult mind. It's more like reparenting, going back to that younger version of you and finally giving her what she should have heard all along. In practice, the shift is simple. Instead of I am worthy of love, you say you are worthy of love. Instead of I am confident, you are confident. Instead of I am enough, you are enough. And when you say it like you mean it. Say it the way you'd say it to someone whose potential you can see, even when they can't see it themselves. because that is exactly what this is. You are that person, and you are also finally the one who gets to say so. A lot of people find this approach lands more emotionally. It can even feel a little uncomfortable at first, which is actually a sign it's reaching somewhere real. It's getting past the part of you that's learned to deflect good things. I want to be clear. I am is not wrong. It works for many people, and it absolutely has its place. But for those of us who've had to work a little harder to believe good things about ourselves, shifting the language is worth trying. It's a small change that opens up a very different channel inside you. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to write your own "you are" statements, specific to your life, your goals, and your healing. We'll look at how to structure them, how to deliver them, and how to make them feel true even on the days you're struggling to believe them. If this landed with you, pass it on to someone who needs to hear it, and I'll see you in the next one. Signed, Your Road to Self-Esteem.